Okay, we're back. Part 2. Why do smells, sounds, and excessive talking for sure fuck us up as an empath, especially Heyoka Empath? Now, here's one thing you need to understand. You came here built differently. So you're going to need different things to sustain you. You're fed differently. And if you're not careful, other things will have an adverse effect. Because you're not common. You're uncommon. But if you adhere to your code of ethics, truth teller, rule breaker, game changer, and make sure you are balanced, you will be living an ordinary life in an extraordinary way, leading the pack. That's why you were born into this time right now, especially heightened by the pandemic. I'll get to that in a bit. Your body, the vessel you came in, the container, into this 3D world, is what carries the goods. The goods meaning your skills, your magic, your abilities. Now, if your body, the vessel, has been ignored, is now poor quality, for the very same reason that it's been ignored, is the reason why your senses are now irking you. And you will become very afraid, highly agitated, panic attacks. It'll just be ingrained in you because you're split off from yourself, because your vessel is no longer where your abilities are. Your vessel is down here. It's in poor quality, hasn't been maintained, it hasn't been upgraded, hasn't been anything. And you almost have to amp up your abilities just to protect yourself, because the vessel, your body, has been left to shit. Now, when your restoration, aka sleep, has been tampered with for a long time, neglected, held off on, and it doesn't matter if it's lack of knowledge or you've had an event that caused you to be that way, the buildup of energies, the feelings you're catching, the feelings people are attaching to you, that sticks and won't let go, it's your container now can't protect you. It can penetrate. There's no buffer. And so because your container is weakened at this point, because there's no restoration, no sleep, it's running on all cylinders, is why everything's going to go haywire, especially pertaining to your heightened senses, because your senses are heightened because of your need for protection. But you don't realize your body, your vessel, is your first sense of defense for protection. And when your container has all these holes and bullet wounds in it and all these dents and it's not running on all the engines, then the goods inside, of course, is going to be targeted for pirates, energy pirates. Of course, it's going to be tempting to break into. Of course, it's going to beg to be attacked. Of course. Now, why do you think people get fat? Fat is insulation. That's all fat is. Like the people who really have a weight problem. It's to protect a very sensitive heart. And of course, when you're really, really fat, your testosterone levels go down, plus a whole bunch of other problems. And testosterone is needed for muscle. Now, muscle is also an insulator and a buffer. The other thing about the fat is that it actually lowers your testosterone. So when you have a lot of fat, You don't have the initiative to take action, to make clear-cut decisions. You're more scattered and a whole other array of things. Now, the muscle acts as a shield, but it's not stifling like fat would be, which causes much other mishaps in the body. So whether you have no sleep or partial sleep or no deep REM sleep, here's a couple of things that will happen to your vessel, your body. It'll throw your circadian rhythms right off. And so a lot of people can't sleep in the dark because it indicates fear to the body. So they have to sleep with the light on. It's actually to make the body think it's like 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, because it's tricking your circadian rhythm. Because when it's night, your circadian rhythm thinks it's morning, etc., etc. You'll experience cramps because when you don't sleep, calcium absorption stops. It can't happen. There'll be no healing of wounds, no repairing anything. You'll feel depleted for sure. There'll be inflammation of old injuries and new injuries. It might hurt your feet to even step on your floor. This is a long time no sleeping. For sure you'll have pain in your leg and your hip, your back. Stiffness is a different thing that I'm talking about, but what I'm talking about is fibromyalgia, which fibro starts to happen. All fibro people have no sleep. Your iron will go down. Your RBCs, your red blood cell count, they'll go down. Some people eat protein, but they can't absorb it. When your RBC's down, that's what that means. Your hydrochloric acid will lower, so you won't have an appetite. You need your hydrochloric acid to be in a certain place. As we get older, it lowers anyway. And you'll know yours is lower because you have acid reflux. You'll burp up acid. And do not take Tums. That's the worst fucking thing to do. It's actually the opposite. If you want to help that out, get apple cider vinegar, not white vinegar. Apple cider vinegar, only Bragg's, B-R-A-G-G-S. I'm not affiliated with them. I just got to give you this shit. Take maybe a tablespoon and put it in like a tall pitcher of water and drink that. And try to drink it with a straw because the acid in the apple cider vinegar will, eventually eat away the gums. That's another thing. When you don't sleep a lot, your saliva production stops. You get dry mouth. When you get dry mouth, you get cavities under the gums because the saliva protects and eats away the bacteria. What else? Loss of appetite. For sure, being lethargic. Racy thoughts. Now, I'm going to get into this deeply, especially for my one guy who asked me about this. You ever wonder why when you're lying there and you can't sleep, why you can't think about a vacation? Why you can't think about something pleasant? I mean, you can try, you should try, you should at least have some really nice, beautiful music, the ocean. But why is it that bad thoughts just come for it's like a swarm of ants? Why? Because when your body is weak and without restoration and sleep, of which the 3D body needs, it sees that as a threat. And when your body's in threat, the only thoughts that it will gather is more thoughts to match the energy of the body, which is threats. That's why you have everything that can go bad, racy thoughts that are bad nightmare thoughts, bad nightmares. That's why. Now connect it more in a second. Here's the biggest one. Your cortisol levels are fucked. Meaning at night you could be wired and tired. That means your cortisol levels are too high. Or your cortisol levels could be low, which means you're too weak to even sleep. Now, migraines for sure. And heart attacks. The leading cause of heart attacks is sleep deprivation. Heads up, yo, okay? The heart needs sleep. If you don't feel the safety of sleep, if you don't feel calm because you've rested, you will not feel calm inside. You will be bipolar. You will be manic depressive. You will be PTSD. You will have panic attacks. You will have anxiety attacks because you don't experience safety. So your outside world cannot feel safe for you. Okay, I'm going to have to extend this to part 3. Okay, catch you in a second. Bye. Gotta fucking talk faster.